Championship contenders involved here. Look at the damage to the 41 of Kurt Busch. The 9, a lot of damage to the right side for Chase Elliott. Those two coming into this race were 5th and 6th in the points. Denny Hamlin looking for a win in 2018. It's not going to happen here.
This all started with that aggressive restart. We saw them banging on each other in the middle of 1 and 2. Just continued on all the way on the exit of turn 2.
Well, Eric Jones got loose on the inside of the 41 of Kurt Busch. Comes Denny Hamlin. He thinks he's probably clear of all these guys.
Contact.
Comes up off the corner and gets into the 41, and that's when it all begins.
Yeah, they just got together. Never could get apart. And then the 9 car, minding his own business, right side, tore off his car. Just so like that once your cars, it's hard to explain, but in the car, once the contact starts right here, the 11 up the track.
Oh, Denny was a little loose. You
yeah.
see him check the back of the car a little bit.
Into the 41. 41 in the wall. That shoots him back to the 11. And now it's just on. You saw the 41 in the wall again. Then watch the 41. He now turns left, not intentionally. Didn't mean to do that. And there's the 9 car. 9 cars championship hopes go away right there, as well as the 41.
And again, both drivers were below the cutoff line entering this race, but both had fought at different times during this race and were in the top 4 in points. Both had been up front and led laps, and now both the championship hopes and that journey will end at this race.
You can see right there, Denny's turned to the right, chasing the back of the car up the racetrack into the 41.
I want to know what the 78 Martin Truex Jr. is thinking right about here.
Yeah, watch how hard he has to hit the brakes to avoid all this.
We were just talking about that off air a little bit. Like, what do you do as a crew chief? Like, I'm not Martin Truex Jr. I'm like, oh, I got to stop. You know, maybe it's time to get away from all this. You're good in points.
But one of the big things for Martin Truex Jr. as well as the other competitors, now that is 3 cars that were below the cutoff line that are out of contention in this race.
That ain't gonna work out.
Oh, Truex.
Hold on to it.
Here
Truex,
big hitter.
Busch.
Well, you said it wasn't going to be the last one. You were right, Bill.
That didn't work out.
A lot of big cars, heavy hitters in this wreck. Bubba Wallace,
that just
Custer,
took out
Truex,
all of 2311 racing right there.
Hard hit for Kurt Busch.
I'm afraid that's not going to be the end of it either.
No.
I think there's going to be more.
You saw 19 slip up, had to get out of the gas, and we talked about it with Ross Chastain. You lose that momentum, they freight train you on both sides, put him 3 wide.
Put you in a bad spot.
Yep.
You know, there's sometimes you're a victim of somebody else, or you make the mistake once. It's on the restart. You know, pretty wild from the restart here. The 24 and the 22 both had good starts. So did the Truex and the 3 car, or the 8 car, Reddick. But just when the 19 lost some momentum, then he got stuck 3 wide, and he was in a tough spot. There you go. Wow, we got hit hard in the back. Chase did by the 45.
Yep.
Kurt Busch.
Could have been a lot worse. Several cars, handful of cars out on that, but you're right. He checked up, moved up. See the 4-car wiggle? I think it got his eye, moved up at least a little bit, got in the outside of Stenhouse, into the car on his outside, turned him around, and man, watch his hit for Kurt Busch.
Oh, that was a tough one. Wow.
Look, that car, or the wall giving like that, I'm telling you, these cars are tough, and they don't show the hit quite like they used to. But when you see a wall move that much, that's a big hit.
Ryan Blaney will give us this look from his advanced auto parts cam.
Wow.
Of Eric Jones and the 24, and around goes the 77 of Jones, almost up over the wall as they hit hard.
That
The 20 of Kenseth involved, as is the 1 of McMurray. A big wreck coming out of turn 2.
Inside, watch your inside. All right, we're rolling, guys. 4 flat.
Riding along with the 20, you see the steering wheel shaking. Damage to the 20 now.
And one thing, though, look at these marks on top of the steering wheel. They're relatively close to the top. That tells me that it's not major damage to the front suspension.
Not the same luck for the one of Jamie McMurray. You saw him. His day, I'm sure, is over. Huge damage for the one.
So the 20 is going to come to the attention of the crew on pit road.
Car gets loose, puts a little bit too much wheel back to the right, and basically head on into the wall, and then major impact behind, got him up in the air.
I think that was Daniel Suarez, perhaps, that made the first impact. It looked like the 19 car, that orange and white car. Real speed. Look how big this impact is right here.
And that's so.
He's still out there. You see 3. Easy, easy, easy. Stay low, stay low, stay low, stay low. Get low, get low, get low. Stay where you are. Check up, check up, check up, check up. Keep coming. Big, high. There you go. Good cut.
Too much wheel back to the right.
Daniel Suarez absolutely nowhere to go.
The Hollywood Casino 400. 77 of Eric Jones, almost up and over.
Brandon Jones in the outside lane, moving to the front, and he pops the wall. Gregson around. Oh my goodness, what a hit for Tommy Joe Martins.
Total carnage. Saw Noah Gregson get loose underneath those cars. The rest was history.
Justin Haley.
I can't believe there's not more damage to that car. That was a massive impact he had.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it would be driving. Justin Haley hit a ton as well.
Saw the safety workers there. Brandon Jones coming to pit road. How about this? We had 5 cautions.
Tell that he's having a tough time getting in the truck there.
See him get loose right here, moving up the track, across that seam. It's just, the rest is history. Not a lot of damage out of Harrison Burton. I think he'll be okay right there. You can see Justin Haley, his car's. Man, I don't know. You think that's a lot of damage on there. You see these 2 cars right here. Man, that was a shot right there. I think it knocked his hands off the wheel. He hit so hard right there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I mean, sometimes we see these wrecks and you think massive impact, and from a driver's perspective, it wasn't that bad. And there's other times they don't look bad on TV, and they really sting.
Well, I hit one last night that was.
You're stung. Yeah, you're stung.
And I can tell you right now, that one did too.
Well, at that point, you really are just along for the ride and at the mercy of what's happening around you, and you see the hands up there. Why not hang on to the steering wheel in that situation, Clint? Everybody kind of does that differently.
Everybody, I was going to say it. Everybody has a little bit different perspective and opinion on that. I've always, just try to drive. I keep driving. I guess it's my natural instinct, is trying to drive that thing out of it, no matter what the case may be. But honestly, as we keep beefing up the front suspension in these cars, the drag links and everything,
I thought they were going to be pretty tight to be able to make it here on fuel. And there's trouble. Gregson around into Allgaier. What a hit for Hemrick and Cindric as well.
We just keep seeing it time and time again off of turn 2. These guys are struggling with it today. This one here, a number of the guys that we thought were going to win this race. Yeah.
Well, and that takes me right to the point we just made. Who's good on fuel, who's not? These caution laps going to be huge for those teams out front. Right, exactly.
He's saving as much as he can right now.
That's Myatt Snyder on the outside of the 9 there.
We're going to see another replay of that from another angle.
What a move by the one of Michael Annett to get through all that. He was right in the middle of where it all was happening.
You could see that Myatt Snyder was on Noah Gregson, but what you couldn't tell was the 22 pushing Myatt Snyder. Like because it looked like they made contact and then they were good and then they hooked again.
There was 2 contacts that happened off the corner. The first one, I believe Noah looked or felt like he was going to be clear coming off the corner there, and when he wiggled just a little bit, they had the contact, and then it looked like the 21 perhaps got frustrated that they had the contact and maybe just finished the deal off here. You'll see that was the initial one where he thought he was clear and he wasn't, and then here's the next move, and that's the one that causes the wreck.
Yeah, but it looks like the 21 gets jacked up at the same time.
Perhaps the 22's right on top of him.
Yeah, like it kind of was like a chain reaction right there.
Brett Moffitt also made a really good move to get through there. Jeremy Clements in the 51.
Hey, look at that.
Stephen Parsons in the 99. And Ryan Sieg, you know.
Goodness gracious. Almost into the side of the 7 car. The 68, big crash. The 2 is wrecking. Maya Snyder's spinning around. Cindric's involved.
Hemrick's involved.
Bubba Wallace.
Justin Haley. That quickly. Austin Cindric. Look at the damage on that car. One of my favorites for sure.
Heavy damage.
Bring it straight to us here.
You talked about it, Steve, having cars on older tires, cars on newer tires. The guys on the older tires are, experiencing a little bit of a lack of grip on this restart, and the guys on new tires are really coming with a lot of pressure. Let's see a replay here, Burton.
So you can see right here, everything's pretty orderly. The 7 got on the outside.
Yeah, the 51 really loose right there. Then the 2 comes up, makes contact with the 22, and Myatt across. And then from there, there's just cars spinning.
It almost like Myatt in that 2 car thought he was clear of Cindric.
I agree. He came up to the middle lane thinking he was clear, and he caught the front bumper of the 22. That shot him across. So watch right here. It all happens with this 2 car on the bottom. You see the car sliding up the racetrack. I'm sorry, it's the 68. But when the 2 moves over, he catches the nose of the 22.